Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. As you all should know by now, Minions, it's time to assemble. We are back again with another interview. This time, it's with one of the big boys. This is the headline act. I believe that this is the lead singer of Greendays himself. We've got Craig here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Craig. Craig, thank you ever so much for taking the time out your day to come and have a chat with me. Thank you ever so much.
That's no problem at all.
Alright, so we're going to get into it today. First of all, I'm really looking forward to the event. We already have Well Rid, who I've already interviewed for the event. That was a few days ago now, and a very promising, talented, young, up-and-coming band. Really, I've heard a couple of their songs already, and they sound extremely promising, and I can't wait to hear them perform live. And I'm looking forward very much so to hear you guys perform live. As growing up, of course, I loved a little bit of Greenday. I mean, who doesn't? Who didn't? So, the first thing I would like to ask you, Craig, is what made you set up the band? What was the purpose behind the band's creation?
So the band actually formed. Oh God, goodness, probably getting on to 15 years ago now. And I wasn't the original singer. There was the music scene, the original local music scene where we're all from in Northumberland. We all played together in our original bands. Like I had my original band, and some of the guys had their original band. There was a band called Forgotten Roots, who were very kind of punky, pop punk, that kind of thing, Alpha Light Trio, Greenday sort of band. And they booked a European tour.
Oh wow!
And they needed some extra money to fund this European tour. And as they were all big Greenday fans, they kind of decided, well, let's do some Greenday tribute shows to get a little bit of extra money to go and do these shows, which they did. And then, as it happened, they were having such a good time doing that and making a little bit of extra money on the side from doing that they decided to keep it going after the European tour. So anyway, fast forward to the year 2015, and I got a message from the guitarist in that band, who I knew. He was a friend. They were all friends of mine. And they all know, and they also all knew that I am potentially the world's biggest Green Day fan and the world's biggest Billy Joe Armstrong fan in particular. Massive, hero worship kind of fan it is. And I got a message from Graham, the guitarist at the time, who he messaged me saying that their lead singer didn't want to do the Green Day thing anymore, but they had 3 gigs, and would I mind filling in for those gigs? And I've never said yes to anything faster in my life, like never ever. I already the blue Stratocaster that you can see here, yes, is a replica of Billy Joe Armstrong's guitar.
Oh wow! I
had already made that guitar, that replica, about 6 years before I was asked to be in the band. That's how prepared I was for that day. And so since then, since 2015, I've been the lead singer, and we've had a couple of lineup changes. Interestingly, Graham, the guitarist who asked me to be in the band, he's the only original member. He's been in it from the very, very beginning.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's how I came to be in the band, and I thank him every time I see him that he asked me to do this. Yeah.
That's amazing, because you've been a lifelong fan of an artist or artists, etc., and then somebody that has done a song of tribute in a band, etc., or it may be the style and genre of music that they do, which is connected or is the same genre of music that your idol was huge for, and that's one of the reasons why you love them, because in that genre of music you love so much, he was the one, or he or she, that they were the one that you looked up to. That's absolutely amazing, and I bet you counted your lucky stars where you just like, oh, thank God.
From the age of 15, I had spent pretty much all of my time standing in front of the mirror and pretending to be Billy Joe Armstrong. So to now be, nearly 40 and actually I get to pretend to be him on stage is I've never had more fun in my life, basically.
Wow. So, of course, we know of Billy Joel being a massive influence on your music, but are there any other influences in your music at all? Any other artists at all, or any kind of other influences at all that you've had? Any artists that you've inspired, or you've people that have really gone, oh wow, that is just stunning what they do.
I mean, as far as this band goes, it being a Green Day tribute band, no. There is only one band that influences this band. That's Green Day. On a personal, personally, my personal, I've got quite an eclectic taste. I don't necessarily like a lot of bands, but the bands I do like, I'm into some folk music. I grew up with folk music. I'm into some classic rock, AC/DC kind of stuff.
Classic.
Good pop. Everybody loves good pop. And yeah, there's a band called Reuben who were around about 12 years ago, or something like that. They're from the south of England. They split up though, so they haven't been going. Their lead singer Jamie Lenman still performs, but I was a big Reuben fan back in the day, but not many people have heard of those. But yeah, like Green Day, I can't overstate how much the one band that has been constant since I first heard them. The one band that's been constant in my life has been Green Day. I absolutely adore the band and could talk the hind legs off a donkey about reasons why and what have you. But yeah, there's a lot of bands I like. But nothing comes close to Green Day for me. I know the boys in the band, they've got a slightly wider taste than me. I mean, there's still a lot of punk rock in there. Our drummer's a big Incubus fan, and our bassist, who is arguably the best musician in the band. His musical tastes range from the extreme pop to extreme metal kind of spectrum, But yeah, in this band, Green Day is law. So,
Of course, because for me, growing up, Panic at the Disco was one of my big bands that I grew up listening to in the pop punk era, and yeah, I mean, you can't. For me, Brendan Urie was one of the most phenomenal vocalists that I've heard in a long time. He's absolutely spectacular. I believe he's a professionally trained crooner. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I believe reading somewhere about that. But his vocal range is absolutely sensational.
Oh yeah.
And growing up, listening to I Write Sins Not Tragedy. I remember being in Blackpool once, and I just remembered going to the DJ. I had a little bit to drink, and I went up to the DJ. I went, please put on Panic at the Disco, I Write Sins Not Tragedy. And he was like, are you sure? I was like, wait for everybody to lose their minds when you play that song, because it doesn't matter what taste of music you have. If anybody hears that song, they go nuts, because it's one of those songs that everybody knows. It's literally like how Queen was, in a manner of sense. That was always, We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions. Those types of songs that everybody just knew. And the DJ put it on, and the whole building, it was only a bar. It was quite a biggish bar. Everybody was singing along to the song, losing their heads to it. I was like, that's just a big fond memory I have growing up. So as I stated, the band, when was it formed originally? So as you said, because you sort of fast forwarded to 2015, but when was it originally created?
I'm not even sure. I think it's probably sometime around 2004 and 2005. So not long after American Idiot had come out. Because I think that was one of the reasons why they decided they would do it, because obviously when American Idiot came out, Green Day's popularity, which had been like bubbling under on the decline, you could say, suddenly rose massively again. So I think that was why they saw the opportunity to make money by doing the tribute thing, whilst still doing something that they love doing. I'm not. Genuinely, I can't tell you a precise date because, as far from my stories point of view, Greendays, my version started in 2015. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they've been going for ages, and they've had some. They had some great contacts they had a reputation that they'd already started to build up. But I think because I have such a passion for, like, an incredible passion for the band. When I came in, I was very particular about getting every little detail that I could get right. So I always think that we became a different band when I joined. The old frontman Mark is a great frontman and great singer and a great Billy Joe. Actually, I used to watch him perform and be really envious of his performances. But once I was in the band, I was like, right, this is going to be. I can do this I can do my bit how I want to do it, and we can kick on. So I always think that my Greenday story started in 2015, but they had been going, like I said, probably for about six, 7 years, but prior to that, something like that.
Yeah, sure. so sort of like early to mid 2000s, around that era.
Yeah, from that.
Yeah, so.
But as I say, there's only one member of the band that is from currently in the band that was from there now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, considering that you are coming to Barrow and Furness, northwest Cumbria, that's where, fortunately and unfortunately, I was born and raised. What I would like to know is, have you and the band ever played in Cumbria before? Any parts of Cumbria? If so, where have you guys played before?
Well, we played in Barrow and Furness. I think it might have been 2 years ago, or it might have even been last year. After lockdown, the years sort of bleed into one another. We played the gig for the Cumbria Animal and Hen Rescue Centre before at Cloud9. So the same venue. We're back playing the same venue that we did last time. Other than that, I'm not sure that we have played Cumbria apart from that one show. And all I will tell you is that Barrow and Furness is a lot further away than I thought it was.
It's quite out the way, is Barrow.
It's a good while to get there from
Newcastle. Does, especially if you're from a little bit further down south. It is a bit of a trek.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, Carlisle, that's Cumbria, isn't it? But yes, no, it's Carlisle, and then about another 100 miles. That's something, yeah.
I think Carlisle is just slightly higher than us, I believe.
Yeah. You've got to go along to Carlisle and then down. I mean, you're very close to Lancashire, really, aren't you?
I've got Ed currently messaging me, just going. It's like done yet? I said, we're in the middle, Ed. We're in the middle of it. I mean, Ed, as you know, Ed is the one that has organised the event, and of course Simon Crompton is the owner of Cloud9. And I mean, I do have to mention to everybody that is seeing this, if you are still looking forward to this event, all you got to do is go to the link below and get your tickets. They are £10, ladies and gents. £10 to get your tickets to go and watch Craig and the Greendays, the rest of the Greenday band, and of course, Well Rid, the opening act, on June the 30th. So make sure you get yourselves over.
Worth every penny, and it's all for a good cause as well.
Absolutely, 100%. So you've stated that you've performed, across Europe, etc. So have there been any big venues that you have performed in before? Because Cloud9 in Barrow, it holds about, I believe approximately it's about 500 people. And so I believe that for the event itself, I think it's about 250 max. So what would be one of the biggest venues that you've performed in before?
So venue-wise, I would say probably the biggest venue we played. We played in December last year. We played in the City Hall at Newcastle, which is obviously
Wow.
a major,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So it was part of an event that's put on it by one guy, Gary Melling in Newcastle, who puts on a weekend of tribute act. So it's usually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think. 4 nights, so 3 or 4 nights of tribute act over the Christmas weekend. So just after Christmas, or just before Christmas, these nights up that we put on, and excuse me, when he pops there, we played there to, I would say, probably a good 3/4 full venue, or like 2/3 full venue maybe.
Wow.
I couldn't give you numbers, but it looked pretty packed. It looked pretty a lot of numbers when we were on stage. So that's probably the biggest indoor venue we've played.
Yes.
However, we have played a lot of festivals, uh, playing up to 10,000 people in a field, which was incredible.
Wow.
That
I bet
felt
it
like
is. That kind of
that.
atmosphere must be absolutely electric.
Well, I was a rock star, Jordan. Do you know, like there's no two ways about it. On that day, I was an absolute rock star, and I loved every single minute of it. I love being on stage, and the size of the crowd doesn't faze me. I just like I like entertaining people, and I like having a good time with people. That's my main thing. I don't see myself as somebody on stage to be idolized or worshipped, or anything like that. That would be stupid. But what I do like doing is having a good time with other people, which is sort of my ethos with the band. I always sort of try and give off this, try and put across the idea that I am having as much fun as you. I love these songs as much as you love these songs. Let's all just have a good time together. So doing that in front of 10,000 people. But I have to say, like, we played in front of 50 people and had a great time as well. The crowd always knows when you're having a good time, and whether it's 10,000 people or 50 people, they will feedback from that, and they will give you as good as you give them, basically.
Absolutely, because I think yourself and myself are very like similar in that. Because I've always been like, I love to entertain people, I love to make people smile, make people laugh. I don't really give a tiny rat's backside about. As for me, it's for YouTube per se, etc. I don't care about the views. I don't care about fame and money, etc. All I care about is putting a smile on a person's face that's probably, say, having a bit of a tough time, it's been a bit of a rough day, etc. They're having some struggles throughout the week, etc. And all of a sudden they come to watch my videos, and all of a sudden they're a lot happier. They're smiling, giggling. That's what I love to do. Is I always love to make people smile and laugh, and entertain people. And it's one of the reasons why I started doing YouTube content in the first place. And then at first everybody was trying to banter it, going, oh, that's embarrassing. But then as time went on, I reached to 1,000 subscribers in a very short amount of time, and that's when people started to change the tune and went, well, actually he's not that bad. And people are seeing that. And then people were always asking me, like, oh, where's your highest viewer base? Where's your highest viewer base? And of course I just sort of went, in all honesty, I don't really care, but it's America. And then that's when they went, huh?
Oh,
They went, huh? What do you mean it's America? I went, for some reason, America, folks in the United States really like watching my stuff. I don't know how, don't know why. Maybe it's because they just like watching a guy that's just not really in it for the fame and the money, and they just see him just trying to make it into a career. He just likes to entertain people and make people laugh. But also, a lot of Americans really, really do like British humour, and they really do like how British YouTubers aren't as false. That who they see on camera is pretty much the real person when they're off camera. And that's when I just sort of went, I don't really care about the fame, money, nothing like that. I just care about making people smile, etc. And you know, I myself have performed on stage before doing performing arts growing up in drama clubs, so I know what it feels like when you are in front of a lot of people and you are performing and you are putting on a show, and you've literally got that smile like a Cheshire cat because you can't stop yourself from smiling. If you're seeing people in the audience and they're having a great time and they're, you know, having so much fun, it makes you have an even more greater time and even give an even better performance because you're seeing how much everybody else is having a great time.
Well, like live entertainment, live performances is a it's a two-way transaction. You wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the audience,
No.
and so you have to acknowledge that. And I act a lot as well. I worked as an actor for a brief period, and I still act now at a local community theatre, and it's actually the second biggest community theatre in Great Britain. The People Theatre in Newcastle. Yeah, and the audience is too many performers. I think try and off shut off the audience and pretend they're not there, and it leads to a dead performance because there's no back and forth, and I'm not, when I say back and forth, I don't actually mean literally like talking to people, but there's an energy transference. I sound like a hippie. I sound like a hippie, and I'm really not. But there's an energy transference between performer and audience.
Give me all your energy.
Yeah. That's there. It's definitely there. And ask any performer, if an audience isn't receptive to what you're doing, then you feel dead on stage.
It's a long time. It can be really a bit of an eerie place. You know, I mean, I remember when I did the Genie. I performed as the Genie in Aladdin. I was 14, and so when I that was probably my best ever performance. And I'm looking at the audience. Well, at first I can hear them, and they are howling. They are in stitches. They're laughing. I'm putting my own words in. I'm putting my own lines in for the character because I'm like, the Genie is the Genie. He can break the fourth wall, and I'm then directly talking to the audience because I'm like, I've got them hook, line, and sinker. They're gonna get involved in this. So I'm like, this is no longer a show; it's a pantomime. I said we're gonna have some fun, and of course, the director at first was like, "Well, don't do that." But then, as it kind of carried on, he went, "Keep doing it because everybody's having a great time, and you want that when they're at a show."
Yeah. Pantomime is. I've been in a few pantomimes myself. I've played the knockabout character in a pantomime, like Mr. Smee and Peter Pan and stuff like that. And it's an interesting form of theatre because certain characters have got a lot of leeway to go off script, and if something happens in the audience, you can pick it up and you can notice it and you can reference it. And I've seen pantomimes descend into corpses, like just laughter across the cast from doing that. But it's a form of theatre that allows that sort of interaction, and when it happens and it happens well and it's good, it's magic. It's magic in the air. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same thing at a gig, like playing these gigs as in Greendays. There's points in almost every gig. There's a point where there's a little bit of improv goes on between myself and the audience, or myself and one of my band members, or all three, that will never happen again. And if it's a good moment and it goes down really well with the audience and they laugh, then you're hitting them twice. You're hitting them with great music that they love, and also you're connecting with them on that sort of comedic level, which makes them it makes them feel a little bit more connected to you as a performer and a person.
So they can then truly get sort of enthralled in the performance and the music itself because, and as you as individuals, so they end up having an even better time. And speaking of music, I'm not sure if you guys do, but do you guys just do covers, or has there ever been anything to go, oh, maybe we might try to write our own own songs, or do you just specifically focus with Green Day covers itself?
This band, that's all we do. This
Yes.
band is all we do. It's I used to be in an originals band. I used to write my own songs. I found it very, very difficult to do. I was young and I wanted, and I think my expectations of myself were too high. Interestingly, I'm now at the point where I want to get back in the room with the guys that I used to play with and try and make some of my own music in a more collaborative way. Because the way I used to work is I used to come into a rehearsal room and go, I have written this song, here it is, right here. Can you make some drums up for it? Can you play the bass for it? But the song is done. I've done it. And because that's the way I used to work, I used to get very, to be fair, very depressed about my songwriting, because I was locking myself away in a room and trying to create a perfect song every single time, which doesn't happen. So I'd like to get back into a room and write with those guys again more collaboratively and be less of a can I say dickhead? Less of a dickhead.
Yes. I mean, on YouTube there is leniency with the swearing. Like certain words. There's certain words that are like
but yeah, and I know that the guitarist, his old band gets together periodically and jams out some stuff. The drummer's in a couple of other bands, but they're cover bands as well. And our bassist is in a couple of other cover bands as well. The weird thing is, I would love to make original music with those guys if I felt like I could bring songs to the table that would unite us as a group. But I actually think one of the best things about this band is that we get together to do Greendays, and it's just fun. We don't have any stress of trying to come up with a new song or come up with new lyrics. We just get together and play a bunch of songs that we all love anyway. So we have a good time regardless, and it's very, very relaxing. And then we get to go out and perform those songs live for people who already love those songs. Because one of the problems with playing in an originals band, as I'm sure any originals band that you've interviewed or seen will know, is that you're bringing your songs to people who've never heard them before, potentially.
Yeah.
And the very best that you can hope for is that somebody comes up to you afterwards, after standing at the back and nodding along. And the very best you can hope for is somebody comes up to you and goes, "Oh, I really like your songs, and I'll listen and I'll check you out again if you play live." Because nobody who's at a gig listening to a band's own song for the first time is going to go crazy because they don't know the song. Whereas with us, when we turn up and play it, people go crazy because they love Green Day songs and they love dancing to Green Day songs, and we love playing Green Day songs, dancing to Green Day songs. So, this band is very much just, let's get together, play some songs that we all love without any extra stress. The only stress that we've got is making sure that we do those songs the way they're supposed to be, which we do. I firmly believe that we are the best at what we do, and I've not. There's other great Green Day tribute bands out there, but I just feel like we do something that nobody else does, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I completely understand. I mean, I myself can kind of sympathise with the songwriting, because I myself, I've dabbled in songwriting as well. I have got 2 songs out myself, and, I kind of really close myself away when I've been writing my music. And with me, it'd be, if I'm feeling a certain emotion at one period of time, I'd get on my phone or get a pad and pen and sort of like jot down my emotions and my feelings, and then I'd come back and then I'd start making songs out of them, and then maybe 2 or 3 months later I've got a little song there, etc. And there was one song that I wrote very recently called Cloud 9, and that was about meeting my old school friends, and I was like, I was catching up with them going, "Oh, how are you guys?" Like, oh, we're so happy, we feel like we're on cloud nine. And then I just sort of went back home, and at that moment in time I was going through a bit of a rough period mentally, etc. And I kind of said to myself, oh, I wonder what that's like to feel like you're on cloud nine. And so it came to them about maybe a week later, and I kind of had some like I woke up in a good mood. You have those days when you wake up and you're like, oh yes, but then I received a phone call and received some really good news, and then I felt even more better, and then received even more better news, and then I went, oh, this is what feeling like I'm on cloud nine must feel like. And then I just sort of, when I woke up this morning feeling fine. It's been the first in a very long time, but then it just sort of carried on, and then I was like, do you know what, that's a nice little song. And then I showed it to a couple of friends, etc., and a couple of other musicians here in Barrow, and they all turned around and just went, do you know what, mate, that's actually a nice little song. That's actually a really nice little song. And I've had a couple of my other friends, some of them are like in heavy metal bands, and some of them are more into the rapping, etc., and they've looked at some of my songs and they've gone, we might actually ask to take one of your songs, because they've liked it so much. I went and mastered my own track one time, and I sent it to some of my other friends that are in bands, etc., and they turned around and just went, you did not make that track. I went, I'll show you I made the track, and I showed them on the software that I use where I made the track, and then they were like, that's very impressive, because if you've not done it before but you've been studying it on the side and you were able to produce that, that's very impressive. And so I'm kind of there going, kind of proud of myself. I mean, music at the end of the day is just such a beautiful thing. And when it comes to you guys performing, I mean, this must be absolutely incredible that you guys are coming back to Barrow. So are you guys excited to come back to Barrow?
Yeah, absolutely. No, we'll be excited to get there and see and see if we can build on the performance and the show that we had last time. We're not particularly excited for the drive because, as I said, it's a long
You sound like every football team in Football League 2 that comes up to Barrow. You sound like every single football team in that league and every single set of their fans, because they go, Barrow and Furness, it's too far away, no! They feel like Tottenham fans going up to Newcastle.
Yeah, it really is quite difficult to get to, so we're not looking forward to it.
Yes, it's a bit of a trek away.
Once we get there, we'll be pleased to get there, get set up and ready and what have you, and meet the other band, Well Raid, because
great guys, really great guys.
They've been in contact with us because obviously we're working out what gear we're going to bring and share with them, and etc. etc. So they seem like cool guys. Looking forward to watching their set, and then yeah. Last time we played Barrow and Furnace, we had a stage time. Guy got, and I've got I shared the footage on our Facebook page.
I'll search for it and try and put it in the video.
Yeah. I'll say, like, you search for Barrow and Furnace on I think if you search for Barrow and Furnace on it, you'll find it. If not, I'll send you the link to the actual video. It's great because we're busy playing Basket Case, one of Greenday's like biggest songs, and he climbs up onto the little bit of the stage, but he has to sort of organise a group of women. I think he has to sort of organise them to catch him. So he spends about 30 seconds organising these ladies or whoever to try and catch them, and then he does a great stage dive off the thing. It was very, very funny. In the video, you'll see me immediately after it just absolutely howling with laughter during the song. Yeah, it was good. So hopefully we'll get another stage dive. It'll be fantastic.
Oh, I mean, first of all, I thank you ever so much for taking the time out of your days, because I know that you and the guys are going to be extremely busy. But thank you ever so much for taking the time out of your days to come and say hi and answer some of my questions. Thank you ever so much. To everybody again, please do not fret. The tickets are still on sale at £10. Go to the link down below so you can see Craig and Greendays, a tribute to Greenday, live at Cloud 9 in Barrow and Furness on June 30th. It's for a great cause. Get yourselves there.
And on that note, just in case anybody wants to check us out as a band before you come and see us, Greendays UK, so Greenday with a S, an S on the end, SUK, is our Facebook page, Greendays UK. We also have a website which has got all the social links on it, which is greendaystribute.co.uk, and you'll see.
I will try and get
of
them
our-
all down into the description below for everybody to go and check them out. Like I said, thank you ever so much, Craig, for stopping on by. I will see you at the event itself.
30th.
It's the 30th of June, yes, it's the 30th of June.
Yeah.
You'll be seeing me walking around, kind of interviewing some of the audience members, and then probably might have a chat in person when you guys maybe have a chance, maybe before you guys go on or after.
Yeah.
And we'll have a nice little chat for 10 minutes or so, and then you guys will either have just performed or you're about to go and perform and go and rock their socks off. So, again, Craig, thank you ever so much. I will see you then and there.
No problem, Jordan. Thank you very much for your time as well.
Not a problem. Thank you very much. That's it for now, folks. We'll see you all next time. And to those of you coming to the event, we'll see you all there. That's it for now. Time to say goodbye and see you later.
Mm-hmm.